TG Geeks, episode 115, April 24th, 2017. A superhero with autism? Why not? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from lovely TG Squared Studios in Phoenix, Arizona, or is it TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona?
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from the new and improved TG Squared Studios in Phoenix, Arizona, because we have a new board.
Yay, yes, a new board.
And it's pretty.
It's pretty.
Flashing lights. Ooh, nice.
All kinds of different colors. And
yeah, I don't care. I don't know how the bloody thing works. It's just pretty to look at.
It's just pretty to look at, yeah. And we have an interesting show for you today.
Fascinating episode today.
Yes, we have an interview with a filmmaker, an ethnographer.
Ethnographer, yes.
So we're going to just kind of launch right into that, and she can kind of tell you all about what's going on here. So here we go. And this time we have two guests with us. One is Yvonne, and her official title is Certified Social Cultural Anthropologist and Broadcast Standard Film Ethnographer.
Yeah, put that on a business card.
There you go. And we have Dave Beaty.
Welcome back, Dave.
Welcome back, Dave.
And welcome to the show, Yvonne.
Yes, welcome to the show, Yvonne. So we're going to talk to Yvonne first, because she's the one that is kind of driving this little project that we want to talk about. And it is a project to increase awareness of autism and the whole spectrum of autism. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Yvonne, and what this project is about.
I'm a certified social cultural anthropologist, and I've been studying autistic families in the last 12 months. And I would really love to produce a full documentary that will educate the general public about what autism is, and also show the daily challenges, hopes, opportunities associated with autism. So what I've done is I produced a small commercial and also an extended trailer to show people the insights that I've gathered in the last 12 months. So what's interesting is that this piece of ethnographic study involves local families in Arizona, and I think it will grab a lot of people's interest because it's relevant to society. Currently, autism affects 1 in 68 children and 1 in 42 boys. So it affects a large audience, a large proportion of our society, and it's growing. There's increasing number of children affected by autism, and I think it's really important that as a society as a whole that we learn more about what autism is, and so that we can address some of the issues arising from lack of understanding of what the condition is. So I'm not sure if you've had the opportunity to look at the extended trailer yet.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about it?
I thought it was very interesting. In the article that I ran on, what was it, Wednesday or
Thursday?
Thursday. I did share that I worked. I've had the opportunity to know a number of people with autism, primarily when I worked in the shelter workshop in Albuquerque, and that's been
quite a few years
30
ago.
years ago, practically. But it was, we had all different levels of functioning autism, as well as other different abilities for the people that worked at the sheltered workshop. but autism is a tremendous spectrum from, very high functioning to, all over the board, let's put it that way. So I enjoyed watching both of your little trailer as well as the longer lengthy trailer, and it was very interesting to see the two of them and how the things that they experienced with their autism that they had. So it was fascinating to watch that. I think that would be a great tool if you're following additional families, and to put that together as a I don't know what you're looking at, a feature length or
Yeah, what kind of a documentary are you looking at making here, in terms of length? Like short film, or full length documentary. What is your approach in this in order to educate the greater public?
Well, as a social cultural anthropologist, I'm trained to produce ethnographic documentaries, which has a different type of methodology and a different approach to documentary filmmaking. A lot of documentary filmmakers start off with a clear storyboard, and they have a clear idea of what the story is going to be, whereas ethnographic documentaries are a lot more exploratory. We go in and we actually immerse ourselves with the local community and the phenomena that we're studying. So I have the advantage of having studied families for 12 months, but specifically for this documentary, I'll be studying 6 families on a full-time basis. If I'm not spending time with them, then I'll be reading journals and understanding the condition more. But there isn't going to be like a clear storyline. This is like a very in-depth qualitative piece of research, and then the insights will emerge from that. So we'll have like a structured discussion guide, so we can talk about different things, and different things, subjects and phenomena and issues will emerge from that. What I would do is I would analyze the data forensically and showcase the insights in a contextual way that makes sense to the general public. So the trailer addresses the stigma that autistic individuals face in society, and I think a lot of people are probably unaware of how much stigma there is, and so this documentary trailer will give people an insight about their daily experiences at school, at work, and so forth like that. And I'm hoping by conducting a 3-month study, ethnographic study with my camera, we will gain a much greater understanding of what autistic families experience, and maybe how we can work as a society as a whole to involve autistic people in our community more. So what we'll find is a lot of the time that autistic people find challenges in finding work. And that's something that's come up in some of the initial research that I've done with the autistic families, is that they've encountered issues finding work due to lack of understanding of what autism is. So I'm kind of hoping that by educating people what autism is and what it isn't, we might be able to reduce prejudice out there, and maybe there'll be less stigma associated with autism as well. But what I really like about film as a medium is that, people can identify with the individuals and their lives on a more personal level. That's something that the written word doesn't really achieve as well, I think. So, the viewer can actually enter their world and see with their own eyes, how they live their lives and what they encounter every day. And I'm hoping to follow the individuals into work as well, and we can see how they perform at work as well. And there is potential that maybe employers will have more confidence in hiring autistic individuals once they see how autistic individuals perform at work. And I think some people might be surprised at how well autistic people can perform. people
Mm-hmm.
at
Right.
work.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think, yeah. But they have special needs though. So, that some autistic individuals do need a little bit more training, or a different approach to training. So I think, employers do need to, if they do decide to hire autistic individuals, there needs to be adequate resources into training them and helping them be the best employee they can
Mm-hmm.
within that work environment.
Just
So
thinking.
employers can learn what it means to be good employers, I guess.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I was just thinking about this once I watched your trailers, and because I teach a software class for a living, and just thinking about where the autism and awareness of autism has come in the last 10 years, much less the last 20 or 30 years. There's probably, in fact, a close friend of ours that we had breakfast with the other day, she was just recently, she's what, Ari's 30 now, right at?
Roughly, yes.
And she was just diagnosed real high on the spectrum of autism, high functioning. And she said her whole life now makes sense. So, and I thought about it, and I thought, I always try to, when I teach this software, I have about 15 different ways of explaining things, because everybody learns in a different way. And how many adults are out there that have various levels of autism?
Really good point, and don't even know about it.
Don't even know about it. And I think that this is a great opportunity to let people know what is autism, be aware of autism.
Wow.
And to even potentially say, hey, maybe I need to be tested for this. And
wow.
Then their life might begin to make sense at that point.
Well, not just that, but as you pointed out, Yvonne, to create a better employer, especially if they're going to be hiring autistic people, they have no idea what they're dealing with. Especially, like in the case of our friend, she had no idea she was autistic for so many years. So somebody hires her and then has no clue how to really relate to her. So I think this is great that you're being able to, or that you're pursuing this documentary and this study, because maybe we really need full education on what it means to be sharing a world with people who are autistic. I mean, just in this conversation, I mean, my eyes have been opened in ways that I never even considered.
And what is that spectrum, and what are all the different levels of that spectrum of autism? And so I think that it's a great tool.
Wow, yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited about it. I really I can't wait to get this out there and push this and help you meet your goal.
Yeah. So now now I was going to say now obviously you've got a Kickstarter page, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But there's something that you did say as part of your little blurb on the page. And you talked about what was your interest in this subject. But for people who are listening to this episode and listening to this interview, what was it that made you want to pursue this subject as a study and then to make a documentary? What got your attention about autism that made you want to go down this road?
Well, as a social cultural anthropologist, I'm drawn to a lot of different types of social causes. But specifically with autism, I lived with a family who had an autistic son in the family. And I kind of watched the family over a period of time. And I also watched the families that they interacted with who were also affected by autism. And I guess my heart goes out to them. And, I think it's important that we should share their daily struggles and happiness and joys and opportunities with the general public, so that, there's more hope for the individuals and the families. This documentary actually looks at the transition from childhood to adulthood. Right. So we're looking at adults 21, roughly about 21 years old, because I've noticed, because I have over 800 friends on Facebook, 700, something like that. And some of them have Asperger's, some of them have just autism. But what I've noticed is there's quite a few 21-year-old individuals affected by autism who are expressing feelings of despair and hopelessness about their future. They can't find work. They feel like judged unfairly, and I just think it's important to share their story, their experiences with the world, so that they can be understood better, and maybe people be less judgmental
Absolutely.
in terms of what they're able of doing. Just because they're autistic doesn't mean they can't contribute to society. They can very valuable contribute to society.
Sometimes
and they can achieve great things.
Yes,
absolutely. Sometimes they would be a better employee than just somebody that just walks in off the street.
Agreed.
Because they're going to be you train them and you find the right way to train them. They're going to do that, and they're going to do it to the best of their ability. And if you find the right thing that fits in with their their brand of what their
cognitive ability and thinking,
you're going to find somebody that's going to probably outshine anybody else that just walks in off the street that really doesn't give a crap.
And there's a lot of famous people out there
who
have the condition and have they have brilliant minds.
Absolutely.
They just maybe have a few disadvantages. Maybe they're not able to articulate themselves well or read social cues. But I think everyone has disadvantages. That they can weaknesses in communication or anything. That they can work on. But I think if we can understand what the condition is, I think it would certainly help the individuals and the families a little bit more through raising autism awareness. Absolutely. And that's why Dave and I, we've created a superhero character as part of this campaign, because we recognize that there are very few. Actually, I don't think there are any superhero characters out there, autistic superheroes out there that autistic kids can look up to.
No, there aren't. I mean, we
that's not really a superhero.
Yeah, occasionally we will see the superhero who is dealing with a physical disability, but this is the first time that we've seen one, or that we're being introduced to one that is autistic. So, Dave, good friend of the show, Dave Beaty. Tell us now, first, how did you get involved in this project, and then what was your approach in creating this character?
Well, Yvonne just basically told me that she was working on this, and I met Yvonne at Phoenix Fan Fest a couple of years ago, and she actually filmed a couple of kind of little interview films actually with me. And Yvonne, where can people watch those?
Yvonne, where can people see those interview films with that you did with Dave?
Some of them are on YouTube, and some of them are on Amazon Video Direct. So I had the opportunity to interview Dave about his contribution to Batman, and also X-Men, and which other ones, Red Skirts, and various projects. So I'm not sure if the general public are familiar with Dave Beaty's work, but he's really good with kind of all the graphic stuff. And,
we're big fans of his work.
We're sitting here looking at stuff hanging on the wall here
that he drew and is amazing. I mean, Dave's got more artwork on our studio wall than anybody else.
Except for Disney.
I mean, it's a great privilege to have such a big name artist backing this campaign, to actually create a superhero, an autistic superhero for this campaign, because he's an official Marvel and DC Comics artist, and
exactly, to
the best of my knowledge, there aren't any decent T-shirts out there by a big, massive name artist like Dave.
Right.
I've seen some regular autism T-shirts, which kind of looks okay, but I think this is the first kind of really creative T-shirt that I've seen promoting autism awareness.
Yeah, and that will
I'm definitely going to wear my T-shirt.
That will be one of the perks.
That's one of the perks on the Kickstarter page.
On the Kickstarter. So let's get back to Dave and how you approached creating this superhero character and what you were thinking in creating it.
Well, after Yvonne and I talked about the project, and I'll be honest, I have been made more aware of autism. I somewhat familiar with it, but not very well versed. The specifics of it. So I did some reading and some research, and then after Yvonne and I talked, I started thinking about a kind of character mode or model that might kind of fit. And it made me think of that it could have interesting mix of kind of some of the home life attributes of a character like Spider-Man, but in some ways if there would be a way that we could take autism and have autism actually help enhance and maybe be the basis for the abilities, kind of like how even though Daredevil is blind, his other abilities have enhanced, and therefore he now has superhuman abilities.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the thinking behind the character whose name is Focus.
Yeah, I noticed he's a skateboarder too. So.
And Yvonne says it's a good solid race with the kids.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
But I think it's a great
I
idea.
think it's cool. You know?
I do too. I have a friend who lives in Surrey, and he's developmentally disabled, but he's an avid skateboarder. And I just have this funny feeling that if Darren saw something like this, he would just go completely nuts over it. It would thrill him to no end.
And it's kind of cool looking character.
He
too.
is a cool looking character. How'd you come up with the design?
Well, I like, again, thinking more along the lines of Spider-Man. I like the fact that with Spider-Man, you're not really able to make an immediate judgment call on Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Race isn't inherent. Any particular physical attribute that might give off a cue of some kind beyond the fact that he's physically fit. You're not able to make a lot of immediate judgment calls based off of our immediate kind of the judgments that we make all day throughout the course of the day. You know what I mean?
You can't profile him.
Right, yeah, and I like that kind of idea. And the fact, too, one of the things that's neat about Spider-Man is the fact that when you see Spider-Man, anyone could be inside that costume.
Mm-hmm.
You never really, and I kind of like that idea, too. And then plus also there's the whole mystery angle, which is always fun to explore with superheroes.
Yeah.
So, and then the lightning bolt, I don't know, I was just, I've had kind of an idea to do kind of a helmet design for a superhero for a long time. And so the helmet kind of came from that idea that I wanted to kind of explore and play with. And then the lightning bolt, just kind of as I was sketching, I just started drawing the lightning bolt on the costume, and I just kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of neat.
Yeah,
So.
it looks kind of cool.
I think the design is fantastic.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
And he's got a nice little tool belt.
Yeah.
And he's got his knee pads. And I think it's cool. I don't know if you read the article, but I called him the Autism Awareness superhero character, and you call him Ash, Autism superhero. Ash so he can smash.
Cute.
Yeah, I read.
I thought that was anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's going to smash, but
Well,
anyway.
you smash prejudices, that's for
There
darn
we
sure.
go. Exactly.
So
Just go kind of round and round with the name before we settled on it. But the name is kind of a clue or a key into kind of how his abilities have manifested.
Right.
Because it's through his focus and sort of his discipline in certain areas that his abilities have manifested.
Right.
And he has the ability of precognition.
Mm-hmm.
So he's able to kind of predict or see future events kind of in real time. Not huge, far-reaching events, but kind of in the immediate real-time moment. And my thinking of it is kind of like, not exactly like Spider-Man, but along this kind of line.
Is it more like being able to predict probabilities?
Yes.
Aha. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
The characters, he's really into reading history books and comic books and things like that. And through reading a lot of books about history, he's highly knowledgeable in kind of predicting future circumstances.
Nice.
So he's a super personified butterfly
yeah.
effect type of thing.
Well, yeah, okay, that's kind of
To be able to see the probabilities and see the future, shall we say?
based on probability alone. I can see someone
that would be interesting.
I could see someone with a specific brand of autism being able to have that kind of acute ability. That'd be really phenomenal. So, I mean, is there a plan to print this into like a graphic novel or independent published, something like that?
Well, we're wanting to see how the campaign goes with the film, because we really want to get the documentary made, and then based off of the response to the documentary, we would definitely be interested to explore that idea. It's one of those things that I've wanted to do, just a kind of a straight up superhero creator-owned project for like a long time, and this opportunity just seemed really interesting to me, and I like the idea of the character and what it could represent. A character like this who's able to use his unique gifts, to protect others and fight injustice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
So,
and then there's some other things.
And actually,
go ahead.
Actually, we're giving away trading cards to anyone who places an order for one of the T-shirts.
Oh, cool.
So they get the opportunity to learn more about the character.
Well, I think this is a perfect opportunity to now jump over and discuss the Kickstarter program that you've got going on. So you have a Kickstarter page, and you've got like a short little trailer explaining what it is that you want to do. What are some of the other perks that you've got going on, and what are some of the goals that you have for the Kickstarter program?
We launched this campaign not long ago, and it's beginning to pick up momentum. We're trying to raise $20,000 so we can conduct a 3-month ethnographic study and turn this into a documentary, which will be at least an hour long. So we're kind of hoping to give the public an opportunity to back the campaign. There's different options in which they can choose. They can just donate just because they want to, or they can put a pledge in for a copy of the DVD. And the DVD will be all beautifully packaged and presented in a nice case. And then we have the rare limited edition Autism T-shirt by Dave Beaty. You get an opportunity to see the design on the website. And then we have the poster, and then we have a VIP T-shirt. So we actually have 2 T-shirt designs, which is pretty exciting. And we're giving away, the opportunity for pledges to acquire VIP film premiere tickets. So we're kind of hoping to spread the word about autism awareness by taking the documentary to film premieres and not film premieres. What do you call it?
Film festivals.
Film festivals. Thank you. Yeah, we're hoping to take the documentary to various film festivals just to give this subject the recognition it deserves, and hopefully, the press and media will pick up on the story too, which it has so far. We've been had our story published in one of the newspapers, and we're currently reaching out to more news outlets as well about this campaign. So the reception's been really good. We've been reaching a lot of people out there, so a lot of people are beginning to learn about what autism is and understand it a little bit more contextually as well.
Right.
Well, we'll continue to push this and share it on our website and share it in our episodes on a regular basis, because this is, I mean, you've talked about raising awareness. Just in this conversation, you have raised awareness. Right. You've raised it within me, and I cannot thank you enough for doing this, because it has benefited me already.
Yeah, I'll definitely, when we ran the one article, we're going to run this in the episode. We'll have the links in the episode article, as well as I'll put a widget on the side so that it'll appear in
every article we post.
Every article we post. So for the length of your campaign.
Yeah, because I think this is absolutely. I mean, I'm with Keith. I'm excited about this. I really want to see this succeed.
I think it'd be really cool.
I mean, on so many levels, I really want to see this take off, because I think it's great. So, Yvonne, if anybody wants to learn more about this project, there's a Kickstarter program. I said, is there any other websites? Is there some kind of social media by which they can learn more about this autism awareness or about what you're working on in general?
Well, all the information is on the Kickstarter page. We've created a short link which will take you to the Kickstarter page. It's filmethnography.com, and that will take everyone to the relevant Kickstarter page. And there's an update section on there as well. There's a 60-second commercial, and then there's an extended film trailer as well. And that's where people can place their pledges. And and they can go to my website and learn more about the project and other projects I'm working on too. But I think everything you need to learn about the project is actually on the Kickstarter page. That would be the best source.
Right.
And we do have some content on YouTube as well. So we're kind of reaching out to the general public through different channels and platforms. So we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook and Instagram and all that. But I think the best source of information would be the Kickstarter page itself.
Right.
Excellent.
And also, if you go to Kickstarter.com and look under projects and autism documentary, that you should probably get there as well. Or you can go to tggeeks.com and find our article on autism awareness.
Yes, because we will have the link on our page as well.
We've got the links on there. We'll have the links in this article for this episode and this interview. And are you on Twitter anywhere, or do you have a Twitter?
Oh, yes, I am on Twitter. But I think if you go through to the Kickstarter, it will give you the links to all my other channels. So, just trying to save you from scribbling down too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then Dave, if anybody wants to follow what you're working on, do you? Obviously, you must have social media presence. What would that be?
Well, I'm on Instagram. As this is like last time. I could never remember what it is. Well,
I don't know what.
Well, I'm on.
What's your
I'm
Instagram?
on Facebook. It's my name, Dave Beaty, and then right now, my old profile icon is Focus, the character for the campaign. So he's got the blue with the lightning bolt, the gold lightning bolt. And then I'm on Twitter. I believe Dave Beat Cartoonist.
Yep.
I can't remember my Instagram. But I'm usually pretty easy to find, and you can find a lot of these links too actually at davebeatty.com. Someone recently built me a nicer, newer site, and there's a lot of samples of my work and everything there, and you can find links to all the different social media in there as well. So
Great.
Outstanding.
And I want to thank you for having us on the show and supporting this project and helping us create awareness. I very much appreciate that, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you for
Absolutely.
coming on the show, both of you.
Yes.
I'm really, really excited about this.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on our show.
Well, thank you for inviting us. Appreciate you.
My mom and I kept the autism a secret. Otherwise, they would treat me more different, and they would ignore me or something like that, like I don't even exist in the world.
Autism now affects 1 in 68 children, and the figures are on the increase. People with autism are our friends, family, neighbours, and part of our community. Autism awareness and acceptance is becoming increasingly relevant to society. My name is Yvonne. I'm a social cultural anthropologist and broadcast standards film ethnographer. I would like to raise funds so I can conduct a full ethnographic study and documentary about how autistic individuals transition into adulthood. I would like to raise autism awareness and inspire people and employers to accept and celebrate human diversity. This includes observing individuals in their home and work environments. The proposed period of research is 3 months following the lives of multiple families affected by autism.
And you can check them out at filmethnography.com.
Yes. The filmethnography.com.
Yep, check it out.
Hi, this is Rusty Manuel, Director of PJ, The Legends of Nathaya and Occupants. and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
And here's a few selected birthdays for, let's see, we have a lot of birthdays this time.
Yeah, because we were out last week.
Yeah, April 17th through April 30th, 2017. And we had forgotten on our last show, April 16th we forgot Mrs. Technorama.
Mrs. Technorama.
Donna Tomasi.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Donna. April 17th was Sean Bean. And April 17th also was Eliza Doolittle. I didn't know she had a birthday.
I didn't know about her having a birthday.
I looked her up on IMDb, and there was an Eliza Doolittle.
Eliza Doolittle has a birthday?
Yeah.
No kidding.
But she was like born in 1970-something or 80-something.
Wrong Eliza Doolittle, I'm sure.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm guessing.
Okay. Maybe I was. Okay.
1970?
Yeah, I don't remember when her birthday was, but I looked it up, and it's anyway. That was just a little joke there.
You
think?
Little.
Little.
Very little.
It did little for me.
Yeah, it did nothing for me.
Also on April 17th was Sam Roberts, a
great
friend
friend of the show. Love
yes,
Sam.
Love Sam, and a former Slicer.
That's right.
April 18th, David Tennant and Eric McCormack. And I am looking forward to the return of Travelers.
Travelers, my God, what a great show.
Oh, my God, yeah. I can't wait till that comes. Oh, do we know when that comes back?
No. Netflix hasn't. Well, they might have said something. I know there's a couple of articles that have been released lately that talks about upcoming shows. So maybe there's talk about when that's coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. Also on April 18th, Leopold Stokowski. Leopold. And born in 1882. April 19th, Dick Sargent from Bewitched. If you could hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, April 19th, Muhammad Ali and Tim Curry. April 20th, Clint Howard.
Chaisam Chanya.
Yeah. And Crispin Glover, Andy Serkis, and Mr. George Takei himself. Mr. Sulu. Oh my. Yes. April 21st, Patti LuPone and Tony Danza, the famous, the song.
Yeah, the song's all about him.
Yeah. Something about
Tony Danza.
Yeah, there we go. April 21st, John Muir, famed, he was an artist as well as wildlife conservationist.
Yeah.
All kinds of other things.
It was about nature.
And,
he was involved.
Yeah. April 22nd, Yehudi Menuhin. He was a famous violinist. The reason I put that on there is because when I played the viola, I had a Menuhin chin rest.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, he had designed a special chin rest for that went in the center instead of off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
So I had one of those.
Nice.
April 22nd also was John Waters.
You know he's Roger Waters' brother.
Is he really?
It's a fact.
It's a fact. Yeah. My. Peter Frampton also on April 22nd. And Immanuel Kant.
Constant. No, that's
I can't stand him.
That's something else. So
I screwed that up. I was supposed to say Immanuel Kant. And you were supposed to say round tones. Kant. He was born in 1724.
Who is Immanuel Kant?
He was a philosopher.
Okay.
Anyway, April 23rd, Lee Majors.
You've been a good boy, Lee.
Yeah. Shirley Temple Black and Max Planck, 1858. And
who's Max Planck?
Max Planck? You don't know Max Planck?
No, I've never met him.
Famous. Thank you so much. You got me on that one.
Yay!
Dang it!
Yay for me! I got one time.
And the Bard himself on April 23rd, William Shakespeare, 1564. April 24th, Barbara Streisand and Shirley MacLaine. April 25th, Ella Fitzgerald, Al Pacino, Bjorn Ulvaeus.
Wow, I'll take your word for it that you got that right.
Yeah, and Meadowlark Lemon. Did I tell you a story about My run-in with Meadowlark Lemon when I was like 8.
You've talked about your, seeing the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, we were actually courtside, right down the middle, sitting in the, right in the center, courtside, first row, and during the halftime, Meadowlark Lemon sat right next to me.
Wow.
And then he came up and asked my dad to come out on the court and dance.
And did he?
He did.
Oh, good for your dad.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. April 25th, also Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky.
Gee, we're listening to Eugene Onegin earlier today.
Onegin today
Imagine that.
on the radio. Yep. April 26th, Stevie Nicks, Carol Burnett, and Gracie Allen. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Yeah. April 27th, Casey Kasem. He did not only America's Top 40.
He was Shaggy.
He was Shaggy as well as a lot of
Zoinks!
a lot of other voiceover work that he did too. So also on April 27th, Walter Lantz and Samuel F.B. Morse, 1791. Where we probably wouldn't be where we are today without the telephone.
Yeah, that's true.
April 28th, Ferruccio Lamborghini and Oscar Schindler. April 29th, Kate Mulgrew, Duke Ellington, 1899, and William Randolph Hearst, 1863. April 30th, Cloris Leachman, Frau Blucher. Yeah. And Gal Gadot.
Wonder
Woman, yes.
We'll be seeing her pretty soon.
And this is kind of weird. Johnny Galecki and Kunal Nayyar.
Both of Big Bang Theory.
Both Big Theory.
Yes?
Yeah, can I talk today? No, I can't. Both on April 30th. And to round out the birthdays, Cornelius Vanderbilt on April 30th. And that is it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a
Part domain name.
They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama. You can find it at chuckchat.com.
That's right.
And now, for something completely different.
Or not.
Or not. Some of the same old crap. More feedback.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say more of the same old crap, because your sister is heading off the feedback for this week.
Oh, darn.
Yes, this starts off with some feedback from Keith's sister, Lynn. And she commented on our episode 111, where we actually had a little chat about the Power Rangers film. And she writes, Power Rangers is definitely not for kids, but was an interesting, nostalgic movie. Rita was one scary chick, and for most of the film, yeah, she was. I was happy to meet familiarity when they played Go Go Power Rangers as they morphed into their Zords, but was disappointed that nobody else stayed in the audience long enough to see the tease for the sequel with the Green Ranger. I think I will stay home for that one.
Interesting.
Although I would say I get really disappointed whenever we go to the Marvel movies and people are leaving.
Out.
How can you not?
They leave before the first, little insert, before the credits begin.
Before the midterm. So I might as well just go ahead and say, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2.
Oh my God,
There's got
4.
4, if not 5, mid-credit bits, and probably one's going to come at the very end of the credits. So do not leave until the theater lights are up and the ushers are kicking you out.
Exactly.
Okay, moving right along. Also regarding episode 111, we had a little chat about the new Justice League trailer and
Justice League.
about how dark and desaturated it was. And we got a comment from Tommy Cannon. And he says, "You are so right about Warner Brothers / DC not earning their darkness, their undersaturation. When I trained in improv comedy, I'm to earn the laugh, not go for it. I see DC cinema doing the opposite. They're going for the dark without earning it."
Yep.
You know, I think you've really made a great point, because Marvel right now, although Kevin Feige has already said they won't do this, he said they're not going to go dark. I think at this point now, if Marvel chose to go dark, and I hope they do with the new Doctor Strange sequel when they make that, I'd like to see them go dark on that. Now they could, because as you're right, Tommy, they've earned it.
Yeah, and Tommy, I owe you an apology. I need to get back with you on your email that you sent to us.
So moving on to a comment from our good friends, Lookie, and this is in regards to episode 113, where we had a great opera conversation going on. We talked a little bit about Hercules versus the vampires. And Lookie said, "Sounds like everyone had a nice time. The promo trailer for Hercules versus the Vampires production is quirky, covering the performance, plus other events at OperaCon. Should be fun."
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
I think it's going to be a blast. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
And then going back to the Justice League, and this is actually in response to the Justice League trailer article we ran. And good friend and fellow podcaster Eugene Glover says, it's not too late for them to fix the colors.
It's not too late for them to fix the movie.
Yeah. Ooh. And you can send your hate mail to, no.
Yeah.
Right. And also, moving right along, we ran a story about how movie rentals and the fall of DVD Blu-ray sales are actually going on right now. And if you want to read that article, it is available on our website at tggeeks.com. We will have the link for the story in the show notes for this episode on the website. But the question was posed, what would you rather do? Would you rather go to the movies, or would you rather see a film if it was just immediately released? And that's why I want to say, people check out the article, because we do talk about how studios are looking to make movies a little bit more readily available through home video. So the question was posed, what would you rather do? And we got a response from Eric Alexander, who we know from Occupants, the movie.
Yes, and the comic book tie-in.
And the comic book tie-in,
actually,
that was really his baby.
And friend of the show.
Yes. And he writes, "I prefer the theater generally, so I can decide if I really want the movie. If I do buy, I want physical media." Okay, that's cool. There are no wrong answers in any of this.
No, absolutely.
And I got a response from Kathy Rippey Falkenberry.
That's my cousin.
That's right. And she says, "Absolutely not. I won't spend $10 at the theater." $10? $10?
Well, she qualifies. Well, no, not yet. She doesn't qualify for the senior citizen discount. She will.
$10?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, she says, I wouldn't spend $10 at the theater, or rather, it isn't in my budget. Nothing is worth $30 to me, although many will disagree. And, $30, that's where it starts for us when we go to a movie. By the time we're out of there, we're out $60.
Yeah, at least.
And then got another response from great friend of the show, Tom Alred Gulbranson, and he says, "I keep trying to find DVDs and Blu-rays, but here they simply stopped selling them." And for anybody who doesn't know, where does he live?
He lives in, isn't it Sweden?
Norway.
Norway.
He's in Norway. And he adds, "Guess because of low sales. If cinema prices go up, I don't mind. I'll pay to watch movies that interest me." Yeah. Fair enough. And then we got a really great response for our article that we ran, and we talked a little bit about this in the past, and that is how Pixar released a little animated short. So adorable, people. Check it out. It's so cute. It's called Dante's Lunch, ahead of the theatrical release of Coco. And people, check out this short. This really will set the tone.
Hilarious.
I love it. And clearly, Dante, he is going to be the comic relief it's not a cartoon. It's an animated movie. I can't wait. And we got a really interesting response from somebody named Craig Chenery. And he writes, "I think John Lasseter is the Walt Disney of this generation." Now, haven't we, you and I have been saying that?
We've talked about that for
We have been saying
years,
that for the longest time. So great. Thank you for saying that, Craig. He adds, "Everything he touches is fantastic. Pixar was everything that made 30s to the 90s Disney so magical. Disney lost the way in the early 2000s, Buying Pixar and letting them continue to create was smart business. Disney got their groove back with their animation studios, and both Pixar and Disney are releasing movies worthy of the Disney name. 100% agree.
Yeah, well, part of that is that John Lasseter is the chief creative officer.
Yeah,
and
so that helps.
He's the executive producer on virtually everything they release.
Right.
Now,
And so, yeah, the Disney movies that have been coming out now, I think, are really just gold. Anyway, he finished up by saying, some of the animation being released is better than half of the live action out there. No argument. No argument at all. So, moving on. We ran a story about how Piers Anthony, his series of, it's a fantasy series set in the world of Xanth. Finally, is it finally going to be coming to the big and small screen? And really briefly, I mean, the projects are in the works with Stephen Paul's SP Entertainment Group, Paul Spike Selden, and Hans Felderman. They're going to produce. There are reportedly plans to produce and announce creative talent involved. Read the article on the website. It will tell you everything you need to know. It is fantastic.
Interesting. How come I never heard about that?
That, you know, we actually, that got talked about during Slice, but that was before you came on board with Slice.
Yeah, because, I mean, I was a big Piers Anthony. I read the Adept series and loved it. I loved his writing. So.
It's, you know, I think it might be worth actually looking back at the Xanth series one more time.
Yeah.
But that's a franchise worthy, you know, and with digital technology, film technology being what it is now, and creating photorealism, I think there could really be some amazing stuff in that film. Anyway, we got a rather, okay, I'm going to call this cryptic. We got it from good friend Kurt in Calgary, and he writes simply this. It's to the tune of the Tums jingle, puns. I'm guessing it's puns.
Probably.
I'm guessing that's what it is. You know, it's actually to the Tums jingle. I'm thinking, we should have said to the Dragnet theme. Then I would have gotten it.
Yeah.
And then we finally got a visual response, and we will share this on the website. So people, listeners, I would say if you want to understand what it is that our good friend Arkle sent us, go to the website for this episode. It will show you. But this is in response to the trailer that we ran for Star Wars The Last Jedi. It is a really funky little graphic about one person being overly excited about the new trailer and the new film. We will have that link in the show notes. Check it out. It's cute. I don't, although Brian, I'm not quite sure where you really fit in this. I'm the person on the far right, you know, the one who's clapping and jumping up and down. That's me.
That's you.
That's me in there. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it for our comments. And
My God, we're caught up.
We're caught up. Yay! After 2 weeks. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think about the show. We want to think what you know about our articles, everything. If you have an opinion about something or you want to share something with us, feel free to look in the show notes, and there's a comment section at the bottom. You can comment on our YouTube episode. You can comment,
like Lookie does.
You can comment on our Facebook page, or you can call our listener line at 469-TG-GEEKS. That's 469-844-3357, and you could be featured in another episode. Or you can actually leave us a moist message.
Oh, dear.
A voice message through Facebook as well.
Yes, because good friend Mr. Technorama, that Chuck Tomasi guy, he did it one time, and it was very enjoyable. And so obviously it can be done. If you want to do it that way too.
Yep. So give us your feedback. 469-TG-GEEKS. That's 469-844-3357.
You don't need to hear their identification. They're the Two Gay Geeks. They can go about their business. Move along.
Stop playing with the soundboard.
Oh, sorry, I have a new toy. I want to play with it.
I can tell. Got a few things that definitely we need to talk about. Some of this we were going to discuss last week, but unfortunately, Keith got sick.
Oh my God, I was sicker than a dog.
Yeah, I mean, you never take sick days.
Oh no,
you never take sick days. And I remember I left for work one day, and I saw you crashed in your chair. When I came home, I said, "Oh, he's still in his chair. He hasn't changed anything." Oh dear,
I didn't even change clothes.
No,
I didn't take a shower.
You didn't even look like you moved. And I thought, "Oh, he's that sick."
I didn't.
So that's why we didn't have an episode last week. So we're going to kind of do a little catch up here, and we're going to start off with Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
Doctor what?
What? Doctor what?
Well, that's what she said.
Exactly. It's like, huh? Huh?
So we're talking about the first episode of the new season of Doctor Who, the pilot. We're not going to go into full detail. And anybody, if you want to hear some really great deep geeking on it, go to fusionpatrol.com, because I podcast with Eugene Glover over there, and we really went deep into that episode. But Keith and I, we saw it, and well, okay, I loved it. Keith,
I actually liked it. I'm watching Doctor Who again.
what were some things about this episode that you really liked?
I liked the fact that the doctor was teaching, and that he had been teaching forever.
At least 50 years, if not more, at that university.
It was interesting that he had Nardole with him. It was like, what?
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get a little bit of backstory about how he rescued him.
And
Matt Lucas.
Lucas is
I love him.
He's perfect for that part. He's just quirky and weird, and it just they play off each other really well. And I liked the new companion. Billy was really good.
Yeah, Pearl Mackie. I was not prepared to like her, because and we actually have this trailer on our website if you go way back. In fact, I might run that link again. But it was a little clip, and they used some of that footage in the pilot episode where she's asking about Daleks. But this was a whole thing to introduce her as a character, and she came off just really kind of wacko.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. But I loved her in this one. I think she was absolutely amazing. So, I'm excited.
I'm excited about Doctor Who again.
I really hope that they can maintain that tone.
Yeah, because I think it'll be good.
I think it's going to be really exciting, and we've got and Doctor Who's going to do some really great stuff towards the end of the year, end of the season. Big rumor that David Bradley's going to be coming back to reprise his role as William Hartnell playing First Doctor. So interesting stuff coming up. I'm really jazzed.
Yeah, could be good.
Yes. So moving on, because we are a little short on time. Wow, a lot of Star Wars stuff came out this last week because of Celebration in Orlando.
Wow, lots of things.
And we got a number of links on our website. We'll try to run as many of those links as possible in the show notes for this episode. But one thing trailer.
The trailer was interesting. I thought that was fascinating. It gives us a little idea of maybe where it's going. I think that they intentionally edited it
so you think there's a little bit of misdirection going on?
I think there's a little misdirection going on in the trailer, but intentional edit there. So we'll see.
I'm curious. I agree with you. I think there's some deliberate misleading going on.
Yeah.
The trailers are not linear anymore, so I think that they're really trying to mess with people's minds.
Yeah.
What were some other things that we ran? I mean, like there was a tribute to Carrie Fisher.
Yep. There was that tribute that we ran, and what else?
The big one, and this is what's going on with Disney and the themed lands.
Oh, yeah, right.
Now, if you really want some great detail, please go to the website. But the one that I'm really excited about most of all is Disney's conducting a survey, and I think this is for Disney World, conducting a survey of park guests about would you go to a Star Wars-themed resort or hotel?
Do you need to ask the question?
Yeah, well, and exactly. And the whole idea is that it will be 100% immersive.
Yeah.
You're not just a park guest, and you got cast members who are going to be, costumed for the theme. I mean, they're going to be actually playing characters.
Yeah.
and you could be immersed in a whole Star Wars story.
Exactly.
So check out this article. If you haven't seen it, I'm begging you, check it out.
Go to Disney World and find out where you can do the the survey.
Yeah, and I can't imagine anybody saying no.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to open that up online at some point, too.
I would hope so, because I think it's fantastic. So to then conclude all of this, and this was your idea. You wanted to talk about this because we recently watched Rogue One again. After we got it on home video. We finally watched it again. And we were watching some documentaries, and there was a really great behind the scenes, with Gareth Edwards, who was the director. And you really felt compelled about this.
Well, I think this movie succeeded and did really well because it was a standalone. However, it ties into the whole universe.
I'm going to go so far as to say that it's not a standalone. Even though they market it as such, I don't think it is.
It ties into the universe, and it's integral to the universe. You could get along without seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole story is described in the little prologue crawl in episode 4, but...
Right. But I think one of the reasons that it succeeded is because Gareth Edwards is a fan. And he's a much younger man than some of the directors of some of the films.
Right.
And so he's not had that opportunity to
not jaded.
to become jaded and to say, to fall into the Hollywood trap or the movie making trap of, oh, well, that can't be done.
Right.
Never.
I think you're really onto something because he has that youthfulness about him. It never occurred to him to say or to even think, well, I can't do that.
Right.
I mean, to him, the sky really is the limit. And there is one magical moment in the documentaries where you see him in the model shop, and he's totally, I mean, he's looking at these models from past films, and he's like a child at Christmas opening a present. I mean, you see the love in his eyes. And I think you and I are both pointing at the TV screen saying, that's why Rogue One is so awesome.
Exactly.
That's why it is so amazing.
Well, and the story itself.
The story is great.
And one of the behind the scenes was the guy that came up with the story. I mean,
he's just John Knoll.
Yeah, he's worked at
he's worked in ILM for all these years, and he just had this idea. There's a story here in this crawl. Why can't we make a movie out of it?
Exactly. And so he put a treatment together and
sent it to Kathleen Kennedy,
and she said, "Well, I think it's a good idea."
Well, he didn't. Well, check it out. But the whole turn of the chain of events is hilarious. How that all comes to be.
You should.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the bonus footage for Rogue One, check it out. It's just really fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
And Keith and I have agreed that one day when we have time, who knows, maybe tomorrow when we're doing laundry, because we don't have anything going on during the day, I'll actually watch Rogue One and Episode 4 back to back, and I can actually edit that in such a way so that right when before the credits happen in Rogue One, we can jump right into the opening of Episode 4. Minus the crawl. Don't even need the crawl. Just when the ships fly overhead at Tatooine, that's because that's how these movies need to be seen now.
Exactly. You got to see them both together.
They have to be seen that way.
Yep. Okay. As always, we got some follow-up items. Check out our calendar on the website. Film festivals, cons, etc. Send us a note. We'll be glad to put it on there. And as you have already discovered by our interview today, that we are amazing,
horribly supporters.
Bigly and hugely supporters of independent creators.
Oakley Dokley.
Oakley Dokley. Filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, etc. We want to talk to you.
That's right.
And we want to support you. And we want you, our listeners, to support those independent creators.
Well put.
There is lots and lots and lots of talent out there. They don't get the big fame or the money. So if you hear about somebody doing a crowdfunding campaign, whether it's Indiegogo or Kickstarter or GoFundMe, whatever it is, please consider supporting it.
And I want to go back to the interview that we just had. That is really, I mean, if you've never supported any Kickstarter campaign before, that's a great one to get into, because as we said in the interview, I mean, just in the conversation, my eyes were open in ways I never imagined possible.
Exactly.
Think what could happen if this campaign were fully funded. Think how many people could be benefited from it. Not just
Exactly.
people who are suffering from autism, but people who deal with those who are autistic. I mean, this can only be a great thing. So if you've never supported a campaign before, that's the greatest one to cut your teeth on.
Absolutely. And you can give as much or as little as you want. So please support independent creators.
Yes.
Phoenix Comic-Con just around the corner.
Woo, excited.
May 25th through 28th. It is Memorial Day weekend. Yay. And if you want to know more about Phoenix Comic-Con, it's phoenixcomiccon.com. They have a great lineup of guests.
Very excited about the guests.
Several different guests from several different shows.
Oh, the one that I'm really just jazzed about, Danny Trejo.
Oh, yeah.
God, I can't wait. I have to be in on that panel. Got to be in on that panel.
Yeah.
I have to see that because that man is just nuts. I love him.
They're going to have several actors from Daredevil. There are several actors from, just all kinds of different.
The list is huge.
Yeah. I mean, several actors from different genres and different shows.
Arthur Darvill, as well as the actress who plays Jenna Louise Coleman.
And Jenna Louise Coleman.
She'll be here.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, actress from Charmed.
Yep.
Is going to be here. I mean, it's like, wow, it's a huge lineup.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
jazzed.
Still announcing them.
Yeah.
So check. Tickets are available. They go up May 1st. So get out there and get your tickets to Phoenix Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest is coming back to Phoenix November 11th and 12th. More info to come. OperaCon by Arizona Opera.
Oh, I'm so excited about this.
So excited about this coming October 2017. Several special events planned prior to the performance of Hercules versus the Vampires.
That I am just so
I'm jazzed about that.
Jazzed isn't the word. I'm bouncing.
Yep. Check out the article we have on Arizona Opera and Hercules versus the Vampires. You'll love it. Stay tuned for more.
Special shout out to the Doctor Who Fancast Guide. They republish our stories. I mean, they constantly republishing our stories, and we thank them for that. It is put out by Doctor Who Talking Who. You can find them on Twitter. The handle is @TalkingWho. And a little bit earlier, we heard feedback, or I talked about feedback, from Arkle. We love Arkle. He publishes the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News. And if you want to find that, you can find him on Twitter. He is known as the Nazi Punching Scald, and that handle is @Arkle. He also has the Incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes that are on Tumblr. If you want to read some quotes that are going to absolutely make your head hurt, that's the place to go.
Yep.
And special shout out to Sci-Fi Obsession for continually republishing our stories. They can be found on Facebook at facebook.com/sci-fi-ob. That is SCIFIOB.
And we want to give a special shout out to the Lucky Show.
A special shout out.
A special shout out. The twins, Sasha and Dagmar. They're great. You can check them out at Lookie Show on Twitter, or you can catch their show on YouTube. If you look up Lookie Show, you'll find them. They do reviews of movies and other things now.
Lots of reviews.
So
I
lots
love the
kinda
twins.
Short reviews. The twins, they're great. Kind of campy, kind of fun.
I love the twins
I
so
love
much.
the twins.
They're
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Special shout out as well to our favorite Facebook group, The Gay Geek. A favorite because it just has the best content out there.
Absolutely.
And it has just some amazing people who are part of that group. And they allow us to post our episodes there. And we have to give special thanks to the High Imperial Potentate moderator. That is Jeremiah Reeves, because we reached out to him and he said, sure, you can share your stuff here. So thank you, Jeremiah, and thank you, The Gay Geek on Facebook.
Yep. We want to remind you to occasionally click on our Amazon ads. We always run a search ad at the bottom of each article, and we have widgets on the side of each page. It doesn't cost anything, and if you see something that you want to buy, that would be great. We get a little bit of a kickback. And I want to draw your attention to the widget on the side at the top this time, and that is for our good friend Hamish Downey.
That's
a
right.
new comic that, anime comic that
It's a manga.
a manga, yeah, that he just released, and it's cheap.
Manga.
You can click on that ad, and you can buy it right off of Amazon. It's Mirai, the Worst Birthday Ever. Kind of interesting little comic. It's very Japanese, so...
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Because he lives in Japan, I guess.
Could that be it?
I guess. Thank you for your consideration of clicking our Amazon ads. And lastly, but not leastly, please rate us on iTunes. Please. Pleasely. Yes. And that's it for our stuff. Up next week, I think we might have a composer and
Really?
the librettist for
that's right.
for,
Copper Queen.
Copper Queen. We're hoping. I haven't gotten
Not a confirmation yet?
not a confirmation from John, but I need to send him an email about that. So hopefully we'll have that. Well, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have several links on the page that you can click on and check out things that we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.